Welcome back to the next installment of my 2024 small-scale group build, hosted by BG's Model Workshop and the Scale Model Car Guy channel. I'm building a 1960 Mazda R360 in 32nd scale, and the kit is produced by Airy. Last time I opened up the engine compartment to stuff a turbocharged Mazda 2-rotor and a transaxle I 3D printed. Now it's time to move on to the interior and make some racy improvements in there. First up is these seats. They look comfortable enough to cruise the Japanese freeway system at 55 miles an hour, but I found these seats at Black Box that look like they would keep you in place after an exponential increase in horsepower. After a proper scaling and printing, they look quite at home inside the interior of the R360. Next was a steering wheel. The one that came in the kit looked like it would be good on a city bus, not very racy. While I was at Black Box, I found these racing steering wheels for a couple of bucks, and I was surprised how well they printed. I felt like it needed a cool sequential shifter, and Black Box had those covered as well. I was simply amazed that it printed so well in 32nd scale. I guess that's what these 12K printers can do. So back to the rest of the interior. It had to have a roll cage, so I started with the hoop behind the seats and then covered the back seat with a piece of evergreen sheet. The rest of the cage was made from evergreen 60 thousandths rod. This was a bit tedious, with a lot of measure once, cut 17 times to get a decent 6-point cage. It needed to fit nice and tight within the micro R360 body. I also drilled and pinned the dashboard to aid in final assembly down the road. The glass for this kit has the windshield and the rear window molded together. I really didn't want to separate these pieces since this fits so well. It was taped in place and the body was constantly test fitted to make sure that the cage fit inside. Now that the major interior components and the drivetrain is accounted for, I felt like it needed something else. I really like the look of these Fiats with their wide fender flares and small tires. It still looks like a cute little clown car, only these could likely rip your face off. But where to get a 32nd scale wide body kit for a Mazda R360? I studied this VW body kit, again offered by Black Box, and I felt like I might be able to modify it a bit to make it fit. I still needed a set of wheels and tires, and this kit included a set, so I took a chance. After scaling the wheels and tires, I was a bit disappointed. They just weren't wide enough. I wanted wide tires. So I changed the scale of the width in Cheetah Box, and now this thing has some meats on it. Next was the wide body kit. I was again surprised how close it fit with the same scaling I had been using. It needed to be adjusted just a bit, but again I was able to do that in Cheetah Box and print another set. After a quick mock-up, this thing is looking exactly like what I had in mind. I think the coolest part of printing your own parts is you can make them right now. Well, maybe in a couple of hours. There's no waiting for shipping though. It's certainly a giant rabbit hole to fall into. Now, time to take this all apart and get some paint on it. That being said, it's obvious it won't be done by the deadline of yesterday, but for only having a few days of construction and figuring out 3D printing, I'm pretty happy. I've got some interesting colors picked out for it, so be sure to like, comment, subscribe, you know what to do, because I have all kinds of model car stories to tell. Thanks for watching.